today. Feel free to sit on a block or a cushion so that you can get that nice straight spine. Cross leg doesn't work for you, you can bring those legs out. Find a comfy seat of your choice. So welcome to Thursday's class. I'm Sarah. I'm going to lead you here through our practice today. But keep in mind that you are your best judge for your body. If something feels sharp shooting pain, you're going to back out of that. That's a red light sign. If something feels like everyday life, that's a green light. It's our permission to maybe push yourself a little harder, because we're looking for that yellow light, that nice sensation that we're moving our bodies in a little extra challenge in a safe way. So let's settle down on the mat, maybe roll those shoulders. You can let that gaze come soft to the floor. Perhaps close your eyes. Just take a moment to feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Notice if it's cool or warm or hot. Is that air still or flowing? And move your awareness to where your tailbone is connecting with the ground or your prop. And allow your sit bones to get heavy, to really anchor you to the ground. Give you a little stability. And from that stable place, allow your spine to grow nice and tall. Each little vertebrae stacks on top of each other like a Lego set. Allow your neck and head to sit on top. And release your shoulders down, letting your elbows and your hands be head. Taking a moment here in this tall seat to scan your body nice and slow. Checking in and noticing areas of tension or stiffness, of openness or healing. Just checking in with our own body to see, where am I starting today? Where do I need to be careful? Or do I want to add a little extra attention? And all together, let's exhale the air from our lungs. Zip the lips and inhale through the nose. And exhale long through the nose. Using the next few breaths, breathing through your nose, allow each breath to be just a little deeper, and the exhale a little longer. Just giving your body the signal that we're about to begin our practice. We're going to move our focus into moving through our shapes and connecting our body and breath together. And on your next inhale, let's sweep those arms out to the side, reaching them high. Reach those fingers and maybe bring your gaze up between the fingers toward the ceiling. You can leave your eyes open or shut. Just really open up that side body, reach the fingers high. And then exhale, let's bring them down out to the sides, thumbs up, fingers still stretching out. And then take a moment and gaze over to your left thumb. Maybe keep moving that gaze a little past your arm. Stretch the neck. With my eyes, I usually find this easier to do with my eyes closed. Whereas my vision gets a little buggy. See for yourself what works best. And then let's bring the gaze over to the right thumb. Keep reaching those arms long as well. And then bring the gaze maybe a little bit behind them. You got it. I know it takes a while reaching those arms up. Bring the gaze back to center. And let's bring those arms behind us. Interlace the fingers. Pull the arms down and back, away from your back body. And drop the chin to the chest. Maybe think about moving those shoulder blades closer to each other. And then release. Let's cross the legs the other way if they're crossed. We're going to inhale those arms up one more time. Bring your left hand down beside you and begin to lean over with your right hand. Also pushing your right hip into the mat. So we're trying not to lift our hip up and over. We're trying to anchor the right hip as we reach over. And if you feel a crunch on your left side body, just reach that arm a little further and lift up and over that beach ball. And perhaps the gaze comes up past the arm. And using that top arm, let's come up nice and high, reach both arms up. Exhale, let's lean over the other way. So again, anchoring the left hip down so it's not coming up. We're gonna anchor it down and reach the hand over. We're going for the side bend sensation. If we tend to reach like this, maybe we get deeper, but I'm guessing the sensation probably goes away. So can you feel that in your side? And that's where you stop. Feel the breath. Exhale, come up, reach high one more time. And let's bring those arms down and come into our tabletop. Spread those fingers wide. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And let's take a few cat-cow. So begin to arch into your best black cat. Embrace Halloween. You're gonna push the mat away, drop the head and neck, really arch that spine up. Belly button to spine. And then exhale, begin to drop the belly, tilt the sit bones up, and then gaze through your shoulders up to the ceiling. You're really dropping that belly and raising the sit bones up, embracing that cow udder. Using your own breath, do a few of those on your own. And I really want you to focus on the end sensation. Sometimes I know I move through cat and cow so fast, but I just do it on a surface level. And I want you to go a little bit deeper than that. Can you go all the way to where you really feel that sensation in your back, in this black cat and cow, heavy udder cow. And then we'll all meet in tabletop. We can take the right leg and move it to the side of the mat, widening your tabletop a little bit. Move the left hand in the middle and reach up with the right, twisting that upper back. Gaze can come up. And then as you exhale, sweep that arm down, bring it under. It's like you're threading a needle, reaching that arm all the way, seeing if you can put your arm and your shoulder on the mat. And that hand can stay behind your head. By your head, or it can reach out long. Or maybe you want to press this right arm into the ground. Take the left hand, bring it behind your back, and see if you can add a little bit more to that twist. Almost thinking of your top shoulder coming back a little bit. We're going for sensation, not shape. Everyone's body bends a little bit differently. And then we're going to take that top arm, bring it back by the head, slide that arm out, reach it high, back to tabletop. Then we'll move the right leg back, move the left leg wider. Right hand comes in the center of the mat. Inhale that left arm up, feeling a nice twist in the spine. Exhale, begin to thread the needle, shifting that arm through, bringing the arm and the shoulder down. And then deciding what option you want for your arm. And thinking about, can I maybe think about twisting my chest toward the back wall, as well as my shoulder coming up and back. Can you find a sensation in your upper back and neck? Checking in with the breath. And we'll take that top hand, bring it down to the mat. Slowly sweep that arm back up into that lovely twist. And come back to tabletop. We're going to tuck those back toes, spread the fingers. Begin to push the mat forward, moving your sit bones towards your heels. Your knees will float. And then begin to bring your hips behind, allowing yourself to find your down dog. My fingers are spreading, pushing the mat forward to straighten my arms, reaching with my side body. My hips go high, and I think about my weight dropping down the back of my legs to my heels. Maybe you want to bend one knee and then the other to walk it out, stretching those calves. Ooh, I'm feeling my calf muscles today. How about you? Not my shoulders so much, but I'm guessing that some of you are feeling those shoulders. Just notice for yourself, where do you feel this pose? Is it more in a strength building way or a mobility building way? And then keep that gaze forward between the hands, keep the hips high, baby step the feet to the front of the mat. Bend your knees, belly to thighs. So bend your knees as much as you can to get the belly and thighs together. Release your head and neck. Let those arms dangle. Move the weight to the front of your foot, your toes and just under your toes. And from here, think about raising your hips slowly, only until you feel stretch in the back of your legs. So we're trying to keep our pelvis tilted forward, our thigh and our belly together. And if they start to separate, so you're way out here like this, I want you to bend your knees a lot again. Bring your belly and your thighs closer together. Relax the head. And then once again, only raise your hips as high as you need to feel sensation in the back of the legs. So they could be a little bent, a lot bent. Maybe you're hyper flexible and you're like, my body doesn't feel this. Keep in mind, everyone's body is different, but we're looking for some kind of sensation in the back of the legs. All together, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep. Exhale long. Plant your feet on the mat, and then inhale, sweep those arms, push into the feet, and rise all the way up nice and slow. We are upside down for a while. Reach those arms high, gaze comes up. And then bring those hands toward heart center, arms by the sides. Maybe you want to roll those shoulders back a few times, just loosen them up, especially if you were sitting at a desk. Let's roll them forward. Work out that morning tension. All together, let's inhale. Exhale, sit back in your chair. So squeeze those legs together. Reach your hips back and your fingers forward. And check in with the red light, green light, yellow light. If you're not feeling this much, I want you to sink lower. If you're feeling this so much that you're shaking and you're not sure you can keep it longer, I want you to come up a little bit so that you can find that sweet yellow sensation. You're building some muscle strength here, increasing your mobility. Find that place and take a nice breath through your nose. And on an exhale, you can forward fold. Release those legs. Plant the hands. Step back with your right foot. Bend the left knee and set that right knee, the back knee down. We're going to come up into our lunge. And today I want you to think about your back leg. Can you sink into your lunge so it feels like your back thigh wants to get closer to the floor? So your front knee is automatically going to bend when you think about that back leg wanting to touch the floor. But does that feel different if you think about the back leg wanting to go down rather than the front leg bending? Maybe you want to reach those arms nice and high. Perhaps you want to add a little back bend as you reach up and over the high jump bar. Nice proud chest toward the ceiling. Just do a slight lean back. That's optional, like everything else in this class. And then exhale, let's bring those arms down beside the foot. Move the sit bones back toward the heel, straighten the front leg. Maybe you want to shift out that heel to help with that leg. And you can bring yourself up nice and high. You can always grab those blocks if you have them. Now that I'm teaching at work, I don't have any props here, but you are still welcome to use the props you have in your space if you're surrounded by books or Yoga blocks or soup pots, you can use those too. So keep your spine nice and long, and then think belly to thigh again, hinging at the waist. They may be really far away from each other, but what we're thinking with belly to thigh is that we're not rounding our spine, right? We want to think belly and thigh close together. And then maybe you want to release your head and neck. We don't want to arch. This just has to do with the muscle we want to stretch. Okay, let's move forward into that bent knee. Bring both hands to the inside of the foot and heel toe this front leg out into our lizard leg. This month, we're focusing on our legs and our hips. You've been here the last few weeks. These moves might be familiar with you. We're gonna plant the right hand in the upper corner of the mat. We're gonna twist toward our left lizard leg, adding a little bit of a twist here. Option to stay here. We have lots of different levels in this class, lots of different bodies in this class. Option to pick up the back knee and try and kick your butt with your foot. Maybe you want to add the shoulder stretch in there and reach for that back foot. Wherever you are in this pose, whichever option you're picking, I want you to think about that deep inhale, that deep exhale. Can you use your breath as an anchor to stay in the yellow zone? And then slowly you're going to come out of that. Release your foot. Come out of your twist. We're going to plant the hands, tuck the back foot, and find our down dog. Taking a moment here. And all together, even though we're not in the same room, everyone together, let's exhale the air from our lungs. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Look forward, keep those hips high, and let's get to the front of our mat. Bend the knees and come up to chair pose. Whew. Checking in with yourself. Where will I feel this in the yellow zone? And for fun, let's look down at those toes, lift those toes up, and see if you can set your big toes down all by themselves. Mine are in socks. You can still move. My left one can. If your toes are super flexible, maybe you want to set them down individually. If they go as a set, just keep thinking about that big toe. Laugh at yourself, have fun with that. Then exhale, forward fold. Step back with the left foot. Sink that back knee and come up into your lunge on the other side. And as you sink into the lunge, instead of thinking about bending the front knee, think about the back leg, that back thigh coming closer to the ground. And if you're not sure what you're thinking of, come back up again and just see if you want to reset that again. Back leg reaching to the ground. Option to reach those arms tall. Think nice proud chest as you lean over the high jump bar. Check in with the breath. Are you still using it? Then exhale, let's bring those hands down on either side of the foot. Move the sit bone toward the heel, straighten the front leg. Maybe that involves walking it out. Maybe grab those blocks for support so that you can have that nice, tall, long spine. And then think about hinging at the hips, belly to thigh. Maybe you want to release your neck and head, trying to keep your back straight. Using that breath as a source of strength to help you stay in your yellow zone. And then we're going to move back to the lunge, both hands on the inside of the foot and heel toe that front leg to the side so your toes are slightly facing out. Your leg is winging out to the side like a dragon's wing or a lizard. We're gonna take that left hand and move it off to the side of the mat and also have it on the block. And begin to twist towards your front leg. That feels good. Pause here. Option to stay here or option to bend that back knee. Try and kick your butt. And maybe you want to add the shoulder as well, reaching that hand back, waving your fingers around to find your foot, or to just reach towards your foot. It took me a few years to get this. Again, bodies are different. I tend to build strength before flexibility. Some of you may be the opposite of me. Find that breath. And then release that foot. Slowly come out. Plant the hands down, tuck the back toe, and find your down dog. Take a moment here. This feels like a lot. You can also come down into child's pose, knees wide, toes together, arms out. It is our lunch break right now, or whenever you're doing the replay. So I want you to choose right now. Does your body need a down dog? Or does your body need a child's pose? What would suit you better at this moment? And then all together from wherever you are, child's pose or down dog, we're gonna float up together or float down together to a plank. And that plank can be from the toes or the knees. I want you to think belly button, spine, really push the ground away. Make yourself one long, strong stick. And all together, let's go down slow to the count of 5 from toes or knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way down. Let's bring those elbows under shoulders, forearms out front, and walk those feet apart. Come into your Sphinx. So you're pressing the arms down. You're feeling your nice proud chest, gazing forward. And then see, can you relax your thighs and your hips so that they're not as engaged, they're just being stretched. This back bend can actually go into your hip flexors. If you know Seal, if that's in your practice, you're welcome to take that as well. But keep thinking tall, proud spine, proud chest. Relax the thighs. And all together from our separate doom boxes, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And then we're slowly going to come down to the mat. We're going to melt the right cheek to the ground. We're going to reach the right arm in front of us. And then we're going to take the left foot back here, the left knee, we're going to bend it toward our butt. We're going to take our left hand and we're going to see if we can find that foot. And then tenting the right fingers in front of you, see if you can come on up, push your back foot into your hand. So you're doing like a half bow. And if your body does not like this, you don't have to hold on to your foot. You can just have this hand by the chest. And then we're going to come down. We're going to melt the left cheek to the mat, reach the left hand in front of it. Take the right foot and kick your butt. Maybe take the right hand and reach for that foot. Tent the front fingers, lift yourself up, gaze comes forward. Maybe you're pushing that back hand into the foot. Or maybe you're just trying to kick your butt and that other arm is supporting you by the chest. Exhale, come down.
Plant your forehead on the mat. You're going to bend the left knee and the right knee, try and kick your butt. You can either keep your hands by the chest and bring yourself up a little bit like that, or you can try and reach hand one to your foot, hand two to your foot, and then push your feet into your hands to lift your chest into bow. So you have two options. You can do this with your hands. You have three options. You can keep your head down and just kick. Whichever option you are at, check that you're breathing, and then slowly come all the way out, all the way down to the mat. Hands by the chest, let your knees come wide. Let's find our child's pose. Counter stretch, that back bending, that leg extension. Melt down into our child's pose. Feel that breath. I inhale, I'm aware of my body. I exhale, I calm my body. I inhale, I'm aware of my body. I exhale, I calm my body. Then press your hands into the ground, raise your chest and head, walk those hands over to the left side. Maybe that right hand comes on top, you're gonna melt back down. Think about right hip coming closer to your right heel. Add that side bend in there. Feel that breath. Then we're going to press ourselves back up, walk over to the right side. Maybe your left hand comes on top of your right. We're going to melt back down. Left hip to left heel. We're going to walk back to center, one more long child's pose. We're going to walk those hands back toward us so we're sitting up. We're going to come onto those knees, roll those shoulders back. Just take a moment to close your eyes. Allow that spine to stack nice and tall. And just check in with your breath. Not trying to change it, just observe what it is right now. How has it changed since the beginning of class? Is it more rapid? Is it more deep? No right or wrong, we're just looking at how has today's practice affected us so far. And we're going to come back down into our tabletop. Maybe walk those hands a little more forward as we tuck the toes and find our down dog. Pushing the front of the mat away, raising those hips, allowing the feet to drop back, to stretch those calves. We're going to look forward. Bring your right knee into the chest, and we're going to step all the way up to the front of the mat. Plant the back foot. Pivot the back toes so the toes are at the side of the mat. Plant the front foot. We're going to come up into a warrior two. Bring into the front foot. Doing things in a little bit of a different order today. Gaze over that front hand. Embrace your strong warrior. Maybe sink a little deeper. Find your yellow zone. And then flip those palms up. Begin to reach back into your reverse warrior. Maybe you want to straighten that front leg in your reverse warrior and see how that shifts the pose. Then sink back down. Open back up to warrior two. And then we're going to cartwheel the hands down to the mat, And then step back however you can to down dog. Take a moment here to shift those hips high. Drop the weight down the back of the legs. Inhale, look forward. Bring the left knee into the chest. We're gonna try and step forward, step forward, step forward. Pivot the back foot. Toes to the side of the mat. Cartwheel up your arms, finding your warrior two. Bring the gaze over the front hand. Find your inner archer, your strong warrior. I am strong. I am brave. Flip those palms up. Begin to lean back into your reverse sun warrior. Feel that breath. Straighten the front leg. See how that shifts the pose when you move your back a bit more. And then sink back into the front leg. Open up the arms into warrior two. We're gonna cartwheel the hands down to the mat. And this time we're gonna step that back foot forward all the way to the front. Forward fold. Walk those legs together. Really bend the knees, belly to thighs, relax the head. Move the weight to the front of the foot. Begin to lift the hips only as high till you feel the stretch. And notice how this pose may feel different now that our bodies are a bit warmer. What a little bit of time and heat on the mat can do in terms of helping us lengthen those muscles. All together, let's exhale the air from the lungs. Inhale deep. Exhale long. Plant those feet into the ground. Let's sweep those arms to the side as we come up to a nice, tall position, reaching those arms high and bringing them down by the sides. Perhaps we're gonna roll those shoulders back. Reach those fingers toward the ground, closing those eyes, walking the feet about hip width apart. Let's take a moment to, with the eyes closed, move the weight into the heels. Observing our feet, where they want to sink, where they want to let go. And then let's move the weight into the balls of the feet, into the front of the foot. Maybe with the eyes closed, you want to challenge your balance and see if you can rise up on the balls of the feet. That always makes me laugh, so I find it so much more challenging with the eyes closed. Slowly come down. Let's move over to the left side. Both feet stay planted, but lean over. Where is your foot gripping? Where is it releasing? And then shift the other way. Notice the change in the feet. And then begin to rotate around in a circle. Trying to push yourself to the edge of your balance. And just notice how your feet change to adapt. And then move the rotation the other way, challenging yourself to come to the edges of your circle. And then coming back to center, lift your toes, set them down, and see if you can distribute the weight in your feet so that your whole foot is doing the work of balancing. Front, the back, the side, and your foot take up more space and really anchor you down. Let's open those eyes. Shift the weight over into the left foot. Bring up the right knee into your chest, as high as it can go all by itself. Begin to open up your right knee to the side, all by itself, don't help it. And then see, where does my foot want to go? It's going to go on your knee. We're going to slide it down to the calf. And find your tree pose without your arms helping you today. That's the challenge. Belly button to spine, nice strong core. And then reach those arms up high into your tree. All together, let's exhale the air. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And if our tree isn't as high, because we're not using our hand to hike the leg up there, just let that little ego part of you go. Because practicing to move your leg independently of help with your hand, it's actually going to help it grow that mobility. And let's slowly come out of that tree pose. Find both feet on the mat and close your eyes and with balance again. And open those eyes. Shift the weight into the right foot. Bring the left knee into the chest as high as it can go. And then begin to open up that hip all by itself. And then see where the foot wants to land for a tree pose without you helping. And again, if it's on the knee, you want to shift it down to the calf. Or you can try and hike it up above the knee. But we're not using our hands today. Once that belly button is into your spine, you're feeling balanced, let's reach those arms up high. Embrace that tree. And all together, let's exhale the air. Inhale deep. Exhale long. And then slowly come out of your tree pose. Roll those shoulders back. Close your eyes. Have your feet about hip width apart. And just see if you can observe the sway, the subtle, subtle sway of balance. And that's with us almost all the time, but we're not always in the mindset to feel that balance shift. And so moving your focus down to your feet where they're connecting with the ground. Are they still spread out, equally looking for balance? If they're not, just take a moment and reconnect them. Visualize those feet growing roots into the earth. And maybe soften your knees just a little bit. Then moving your focus up to your hips, where they give you so much stability. And then wrap around from the back of the hips to the base of the spine. And allow that spine to stack just like Legos, reaching all the way to the top. And maybe bring that belly button closer to your spine to help strengthen that core. Neck and head sitting on top, nice and tall. And fingers stretching down toward the earth. And all together, let's exhale the air from the lungs. Inhale deep, a nice long breath. And if you think you can't inhale anymore, maybe take one more little sip of air. And like a tire, slowly exhale through the mouth. Maybe allowing those knees to soften. And let's do one more to your own speed, taking that deep inhale through the nose. Adding that little extra sip of air at the top. And then slowly, like a leaking tire, release the air. Standing nice and tall. And just taking a moment to be here. Perhaps scanning the body and noticing what 40 minutes of practice can do. Taking some time for some deep breaths, a little bit of twisting and hip and calf stretching to get that sitting out. A little bit of breath work and balance to shift our mindset. When you're ready to rejoin the day, you can gradually let those eyes flutter open. Letting light come back in. If you want to bring those hands to heart center, tuck your chin to chest. And think of one thing today that you are proud of. And one thing today that you are grateful for. And then release that air with an exhale. Let go of class and practice. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next Thursday.